Savory pies are an enormous chapter in Greek cooking. They're also kind of an unsung hero because with a few simple ingredients, you can make a pretty substantial meal for the family. I'm making a chicken, herb, and cheese phyllo pie today. Let's get started. I'm gonna heat some olive oil. I'm gonna get some chopped red onion into the frying pan. The garlic goes in next. Let's get the chicken in here. I'm just gonna stir this around, get everything nicely combined. So I'm just gonna let this chicken cook and chop the herbs. I'm using parsley and mint today. Both of them are really popular herbs in the Greek kitchen. You can use almost any herb you want in this dish. That's also something that is very much a part of all Greek cooking, all Mediterranean cooking. It's very flexible, it's easy to swap things out. The chicken is beautifully coated with the olive oil and it's really nicely mixed together with the onion. I'm gonna turn this off, add the herbs, and a little bit of pepper. And I like to use sea salt, first because it tastes really good, but also because you actually end up using a little bit less. The larger the flakes, there's more surface area, so it's actually a little bit saltier, so you need a bit less of it. So this is cooled down enough to add the cheeses, and I'm using 2 Greek cheeses here today. These are both delicious table cheeses. One is called graviera, and it's a mild, nutty sheep's milk cheese, a yellow sheep's milk cheese. It's kind of a sweet cheese. And the second cheese is a cousin of the graviera. It's called kefalotyri. It's similar, it's a little bit harder, and a little bit more pungent. So this is all mixed together, and our filling is ready. We're ready to assemble the pie. The first thing I'm going to do is brush my pan with a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna get our phyllo in here. I'm using a heavy phyllo today because the filling itself is actually pretty heavy. Get the sheet dappled with olive oil. What you want to do when you lay out the sheets is to try to get them even over the edge. This is the 5th and last sheet for the bottom. Let's get the filling in here. And now we can cover this. I'm gonna put 3 sheets on top. Press them down as you put them in. These are also gonna be brushed with a little bit of extra virgin Greek olive oil. There's a lot of overhang around the perimeter of the pan. We're gonna trim that. I've got the bottom and the top layers together. I just want to trim off some of this excess. You want about an inch, inch and a half of overhang. So let me show you what I'm going to do next. We're taking the top and bottom and we're just going to roll that in. And you want that to be lubricated first because you want the phyllo to be moist. If you leave it without any lubrication, it'll start to crack on you. You don't want the rim to be too thick. It shouldn't be more than about an inch, even when it's rolled in. You want there to be enough time for that thick piece to also bake completely. This pie has a little secret. I'm gonna top it with a combination of whisked eggs, a little bit of semolina flour, and some chicken stock. Just get the eggs in here. A little bit of fine semolina flour. You want to get that into the egg slowly and whisk out any clumps. And the chicken broth or stock goes in next. There are a lot of different ways we can score a phyllo pie. I'm going to do this particular pie in wedges. You don't want to draw the knife all the way through, but you want to make it easy enough so that when this bakes, you can remove the pieces. And now, take this egg mixture. Let me just whisk it up one last time. And pour that right over the top. Just going to get that all over the pie. And you can see most of it's already been absorbed inside the filling, and whatever remains on the outside will form this beautiful crust. I'm going to get this into the oven now. It's preheating at 350 for about 45 to 50 minutes. Look at that beautiful sheen, that beautiful crust. I'm just going to cut this through right where we scored it, and it cuts through beautifully. That is a beautiful sight. Easy as pie. Time to taste today's chicken pie. The chicken and the egg and the cheese are perfect together. The mint is beautiful, the onions are really sweet, and it all comes together really perfectly. And this recipe, to me, is a compelling reason to try a little bit of phyllo, make a savory pie, and experiment with many of the different phyllo pies found throughout Greece.